Jeff here at the Village Mystic, wishing you a wonderful week. We've got an exciting week taking place. Don't forget tomorrow night we have our meditation with the ancient crystal skulls, Aska and Zadka. On this coming Saturday, we're going to have an event here with Jerry. Live music from Seabreeze. We also have the fairy-haired girl here. So get your appointments in line for getting your hair done. We have a lot of new stuff going out. These are all brand new.
Where are they?
Beautiful celestial amethyst.
Nice.
Nice Jimmy points on it. We have some beautiful amethyst pieces and some surprises that I'm not even going to tell you about. We have a contest tonight. Whoever can tell me, send it in, what my shirt means, Pro Vita. If you answer that question, you win the 3 stones we're using tonight. So it's your chance to win more than just the shaman's knowledge tonight. We have 3 stones picked out for you, each corresponding to the card underneath. As always, I will first introduce you to the stones. This is a nice piece of amber. Very calming, very relaxing. Used to give it to children to relax their energy when they were being rambunctious. We have a stone of unakite. Now these are small, these are all tumbled stones. And the unakite, very nice stone. And one of my personal favorites, beautiful piece of Afghanistan lapis. One of your higher energy pieces, and these can all be yours. All you gotta do is type it in, and of course, at any point in time, you may send in your questions. We're always looking for questions. Now, these stones correspond to the card underneath. There's a reason that I chose these stones. I go through and I do prayers and I ask and I turn over and I look at the cards and I actually see lights on the card that I will pick. And then I'll think about it and I'll meditate on it. And I will pick a stone that will harmonize with that card in such a way that, and a lot of times you won't realize it, but there is a pattern in all of these cards. It's like a common theme that's guiding you. And those common themes are usually aligned with what's going on in your life at this time. And so while all 3 of these cards do harmonize together and they all can lead you to a higher knowledge, each one individually may be the stack that you are led to. So take a nice relaxing breath and focus. The yellow piece of amber, the unakite, green and orange, nice contrast of colors. I wonder what that stone could mean. And of course the lapis. And without further delay, we will find out what's underneath the amber. And the card that's underneath the amber tonight is Gaia's Garden. Gaia's Garden is there, and like any garden, as the card is working with you, It is telling you that you have everything you need, that the garden is beautiful and it can be abundant and all the things are there. However, the garden does require tending. And how do we tend that garden is the energy that we feed to it. Amber is one of those stones that is very calming. And so when you find yourself in that place of fear, when you find yourself challenging, to where you may be creating something different with that garden, because it's your choice whether that garden is going to show weeds or whether it's going to bear fruit. What you give your energy to, you are creating constantly. I once was walking into a place in which I was going to be a speaker with the ancient crystal skulls. And the audience was like 5 times what I realized it was going to be. And I felt myself get overwhelmed for just a second. And then I had to remember that I'm doing this not for myself. And if I was feeling too overwhelmed, I would have to remember that I'm too much in that place of ego and not in that place of service. But I went out to my van and grabbed a piece of amber just to make sure that I was calm, collective, and that I was able to speak from my heart and not get any of that head energy or ego energy in there. And so it's all about how you tend your garden, and it's all about your choice. And under the stone of Unakite is the grasshopper spirit. Very good totem. The grasshopper leaps, and it reminds you to take a leap of faith. And again, it's almost a direct reflection of what we're doing with our energy. One of the reasons we are fearful sometimes when we take that leap of faith is because we fear change. That is why I chose the stone of Unakite tonight, because Unakite does help you go through change. And if we're not afraid to move through the change, then we can take that leap of faith. And it's always promising that something good is waiting when we're in that fullness of faith and trust. And so Unakite's a very good stone to work with. And underneath the lapis, a stone of truth and a card of learning to set your boundaries. It is the Queen of Swords. That is a card of learning to set your boundaries. And the truth is being truthful with yourself. Do we help others to feel better about ourselves, or do we do it because we care about them? What is that underlying truth? Do we give away so much of ourselves that we're not honoring ourselves, that we're teaching our subconscious mind to put us last? There's a balance in there somewhere, but that balance can only be found if we're walking in truth. And so this is a very important stone to learn to work with that truth within us. To be able to empower others without enabling others is a very fine line. And so don't forget to start sending in your questions. We have a live audience here tonight.
I do want to say something, that we did have a winner. Unfortunately, it was Abby Collins, my daughter, so we're not going to give away stones to the family. So I think the second person who had guessed correctly was Eva. I'm going to have to go through and take a look, but just, stay tuned because I will post that.
Congratulations, Eva. You win 3 different stones here that are very nice to work with. And did we have any questions here tonight?
Someone had asked what the skull in the middle is.
This particular skull has been with 17 of the ancient crystal skulls. And so it carries the energy. There was a gentleman, Yate Van Eden, who wrote a book in 2007, scientist, not a metaphysician. And he worked with the ancient skulls. And with the PHF meter, he discovered that the ancient skulls produce 18 bands of energy. A contemporary skull only will have produced 6. However, when you put one of the ancient skulls or more of the ancient skulls with the contemporary skull will take on those other 12 bands of energy. And it's been my personal experience because I have worked with many of the ancient skulls, and I've traveled around the country. I've spoke on the energy for other people who are caretakers as well as myself. And I have found that every one of the ancient crystal skulls has a different type of energy. When you're working with the rose quartz, the ancient crystal skull of rose quartz, then you're working with the energy of love. And so each one of these does produce a different set of knowledge that is downloaded to you the more you work with it. And if it can be downloaded into these skulls, it can be downloaded with you also. And once you work with the ancient crystal skulls, you always carry the energy. And if you notice off to the side here, there are 3 little skulls. And those 3 little skulls are going to be being activated in front of the ancient crystal skulls during the meditation tomorrow night. You'll see these cards are gone and you'll see these little skulls being activated. And that's the first thing we do with any of the skulls that we get in, is to activate them.
So I have one other question too. Anne has asked how Mercury retrograde will affect us this time around.
We've got a lot of change coming in front of us. And again, people fear change. They fear the unknown. It's just a part of our makeup, but it's also a choice. And when we evolve, the more you evolve and the more you learn to surrender, the more you learn to be in that place of acceptance, the less power Mercury retrograde is going to have over you. There are different cycles in Mercury retrograde where it affects a lot of different things, but you can rise above all of that. You don't necessarily have to let it affect you. And to read too much and to have too much knowledge into it, you might be feeding something you don't want to feed on the other side of that coin. And so just rise above that energy.
Okay, and Lisa's asked about the meditation, and yes, Lisa, the meditation is on Facebook Live, so that'll be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And Kara also said that she'd love to hear the story, so not tonight, but maybe some other time we can maybe do a little video of the story of the ancient crystal skulls.
That would be a very good story. And we appreciate you all being here as always. Got a lot of energy here going. We've got a lot of new stuff. We're looking forward to seeing your faces this weekend. And so we appreciate you. Here's a beautiful grasshopper leaping at you as your squeezably soft shaman says, create a beautiful week for yourself. The power is within you.
And share the video.
And make sure you like us, subscribe, and to share with your friends. I'm sure they're going to appreciate it, and we appreciate it. So you're doing everybody a favor. Coming at you. Have a great week.